I have a really weird relationship with horrors.
Wait, you like horror films?
Oh no, not really. Movies, I can't really enjoy them because even when they are scary, they're too predictable. I like it when they're goofy, which is why Army of Darkness is one of the greatest horror movies ever. Books, however, well, same thing I've noticed, but I do like them more than movies. Tabletop games, oh boy, do I love TTRPGs that go into horror. In fact, even the games I go into that aren't horror tend to accidentally become horror.
Do you do that a lot?
Let's see, I turned a space adventure into a fist fight with Baba Yaga, who ate an entire city in front of the players. I brought Dagon from the depths to rip the souls out of my players. I killed my players with a glance. Then they resurrected because they were already undead. I've made them fight their heroes twice, once in the Transformers game I'm currently running, and once in the past. Oh, you know what? I should talk about that. Wait, where's Darren? I know Dean Steeler is with Margaret, but I didn't see him.
He's at some party with that surf he's been enjoying the company of.
I swear by all that is holy, if they attempt reproduction, that baby better be as sterile as a hybrid.
According to our Magos biologists, the chromosomes in the Eldar and humans are too far apart in order to reproduce at all. Eldar have surprisingly short gestation periods, with oddly bird-like bodies.
Yeah, I remember reading that in the xenobiology book, but that's not something we should go into for a Monday video. Let's talk about my first time accidentally creating a horror game. So this was for a Pathfinder 1st edition game. I think 2nd edition was in the early days and I didn't know about Aeon PRD yet, so we probably screwed up 1,000 different things. This game took place in modern Chicago, with some fantasy elements. I think everyone made a customized race. Most of them I remember, actually now all of them now that I'm recording this. One made what we called a blue goblin, which was essentially a magic goblin with the psychic class. Another customized an orc to make it a construct, with the gray paladin archetype of the paladin class. My business partner made a kind of pseudo-shade thing using the investigator class, and he played up as old-timey detective movie things. And the last, he made his fetish, a kobold, kind of, with a weird idea for the vigilante class. He made Batman's Oracle, basically. Everyone else was a cop, and he refused despite what I asked. But this video is not about my issues with him, and boy howdy, there's a lot of them. I should do a video about that guy, but I don't really like RPG horror stories. Wait. Next week, maybe. They were investigating crimes in Chicago, each one leading them to questions. Each murder was with an antique handgun, which are few and far between. While investigating a gang involved with the murders, a guy jumps in with a black outfit, a rare species of giant subtype, which I customized. Now, the reason I made this species incredibly rare is because I said that this species could only be male, but could reproduce with any humanoid or giant species. But their bodies were so massive at birth, they could only be born with one. Now, I originally named the character Franklin Wayne, only to realize that I've been saying to my friends for 10 years or so that would make them instantly kill the character. When in doubt, blame Frank. So I changed his name to Thomas Wayne. I thought that was familiar sounding name, and I looked at my shelf of comic books, and I found Flashpoint, and remembered who Bruce Wayne's father was supposed to be, Thomas Wayne. So that led to me changing the story. Thomas Wayne was a mourning father who vowed to stop crime by any means necessary in order to avenge his executed son, Bruce Wayne. They found evidence that this masked titan, as I called the species, may have been the one and only titan in the Chicago area. Of course, there were other titans in the suburbs of Chicago, but in proper Chicago, Thomas Wayne is the only one. And all titans were related to each other, at least loosely. So, upon going to Wayne Manor to talk to Dr. Thomas Wayne, casino mogul, and world-class surgeon, his butler, a hobgoblin by the name of Alfred Pennyworth, who definitely knew more about everything and everyone than he wanted anyone to know, I voiced him with a vaguely British accent, probably more New England really, and I tried to give him an attitude of I don't get paid enough, while also trying to make him a guide of the friend he owed everything for the life he'd be happy with. Honestly, Alfred is the biggest reason why the game turned into a horror, but we'll get into that soon. Alfred, quote, accidentally, unquote, pointed the police squad to the cavern beneath the manor, where Thomas Wayne's equipment and weaponry for crime fighting was hidden. Now, those who know Flashpoint know that Thomas Wayne's Batman had no issue in gunning through criminals. The crew put two and two together, and so did Wayne, who realized Alfred was trying to get the mystery solved. Who was executing these criminals and their families en masse? All this led to Clayface, who was another customized race with a customized version of the either Druid or Shifter class, allowing him to shift and adjust to reduce damage taken from everything but cold damage. They beat him, and he started singing like a canary in the coal mine. The group asked him who was paying him to kill cartels and syndicates and their families, and he answered, "The Joker! She paid him." Wait, she? Wayne shot Clayface and went back to the Batcave in order to trace the Clayface's tracks in order to figure out where they could find the Joker. God, there was a joke made by the Grey Paladin player that made me crack a rib laughing so much. You know how Batman's computer sometimes has hundreds of screens? I said that's how this was, and the Cyborg player said, "What is it like to lose the mouse?" Which made me lose my mind. I still laugh at it. Well, the players were informed that Wayne had found the last known location of the Joker and called the crew to join him. Even the Nod Oracle joined in physically. They went to the warehouse and the players had their weapons raised and ready, and then they saw it. In a chair, in the middle of the room, with a feminine laugh echoing through the speakers, a skeleton, and the last words of Martha Wayne, hair still clinging, dried bright green, with a hole through the skull from the same antique firearm. Then they heard it from behind. Laughter. Cackling laughter. Insane laughter. And the players loved this character. They spoke with him casually. They had personal conversations with him. And he disarmed them all. The players knew the power a Titan had and ran, afraid. The Batman laughed and followed them. They knew who'd know what to do. Alfred. They ran him, stealing the car that they got to the warehouse in. Talking to Alfred, he said that he knew what to do, and that he needed the players to get a key from the Batcave. And they did just that. They could not kill Batman, but they could slow him down though. The players got the key and gave it to Alfred. The Hobgoblin said he'd be going to Bruce Wayne's room and would be back in a moment, walking like an escort quest mission. The players distracted Thomas Wayne by talking to him, trying to get him to turn himself in. He laughed at them and broke a few of their bones. My laugh, by these guys' own admittance, gave them nightmares. I probably should try mimicking that, but I'm not going to because it actually hurt to do it back then. Soon Alfred came back, walked up to Wayne and gave him a teddy bear. Wayne started bawling, crying his eyes out. He wrapped his arms around Alfred, still in tears, and soon enough, the players heard a gunshot, and Alfred's body went limp. Wayne dropped his gun, still crying like a baby. The psychic player picked up the gun and put it to Wayne's head. Wayne did not react. He looked at the gun, looked up at the player, still sobbing through the mask, and the psychic squeezed the trigger. She put Wayne out of his misery. PTSD, torture, psychological twists, and the players legitimately were afraid to join my games for a short time after. And that was the first time I accidentally made a horror game. Shove off.